A tornado watch now in effect until 10 p.m. for most of central Alabama. That's going to, of course, include Tuscaloosa, Jefferson, Bibb, Shelby, Chilton, Perry and Coosa counties, Autauga, Elmore, Dallas, Lowndes, and Montgomery until 10 p.m. And it's because of this band of tropical downpours that's moving eastward into a more unstable environment just to the south of Birmingham, and that instability is being pulled northbound as we speak. Look at this heavy rain close to Whispering Pines Lake and Cahaba River Park, just north of New Hebron Church in Bibb County and McCully Hill Christian School. It's passing east of Woodstock and Green Pond, and it's moving into Jefferson and Shelby counties. Individual downpours in this line are racing toward the northeast at about 25 to 30 miles per hour. But the line is just moving so slowly eastbound that it could end up causing some flooding here in the next hour around places like Fairfield and Ensley, Bessemer, into Hoover, Helena, Pelham, maybe even Alabaster up into downtown Birmingham too. So we'll keep an eye on that. New downpours developing toward Tuscaloosa too. Look down south of Chilton County. This is Autauga County, Bethel Grove, Paul Grist State Parks over there in Dallas County. See a little notch that's developed right there in that cell. Those are the kinds of things we're watching for, and a storm like this one that's rotating could potentially grow a little stronger, a little more organization, and that could become one of the first warnings we end up with on the day. Right now, we think it's moving toward the northeast at close to 25 miles per hour, so that would put it down close to Beth Salem in the southern part of Chilton County in about 45 minutes. Now, it's not a tornado warning yet. I'm just giving you an update here. Chilton County, especially the south end of the county, from around Billingsley over to White City, Beth Salem, Shiloh. Just know that there's a pretty rough thunderstorm down there in Autauga County that's coming your way. Got an alert day up. Anytime we have a tornado watch, we're basically in an alert day, and that's the kind of thing that we're expecting here. Tornadoes are a possibility. You already know that wind is howling outside, 40 to 50 miles per hour, and flash flooding could also be a threat with the rain and wind continuing tonight. Tomorrow morning, it's not quite as windy. The breeze comes down to about 20 miles per hour. We'll see some rain around for the morning commute, and then more heavy thunderstorms develop tomorrow afternoon, and it's still going to be an impact day going into Friday. So here are the thunderstorms we have in progress this evening. I've basically circled the area where the tornado watch is in effect, plus some counties to the north of that, Walker County, Coleman, Winston, Blount, where I think we're just going to wind up with some locally heavy rainfall. Those showers will continue through the night into tomorrow morning, but I think our severe weather risk is going to end in the neighborhood of about 10 to 11 p.m. today. 1 o'clock to midnight on Friday, another risk of severe weather. The wind, like I said, is going to settle down in the overnight hours. In fact, in Tuscaloosa, Utah, you'll start to hear it calming down even before midnight, and finally about the time the sun comes up in Birmingham. On Friday, another chance not only of severe weather, but where some very heavy rainfall will set up. Shelby, Jefferson, St. Clair, Talladega, parts of Calhoun and Etowah, Blount, Coleman, Winston, into Walker County and north up into the Tennessee Valley. Watch this. Thinking high school football for tomorrow night, it could be a really tough go to get some of these games in with scattered thunderstorms. They will have a lot more lightning involved in them tomorrow evening, as well as heavy rain, gusty winds, and the potential that some of those could be severe. Total rainfall is going to vary a lot just from neighborhood to neighborhood. Some are going 2 or 3 inches, some may go 5 or 6 inches, and then some may only get a fraction of an inch between now and Friday night. But there's more rain coming this weekend. Widespread showers and thunderstorms on both Saturday and Sunday keep us at impact level. 80-degree high temperatures over the weekend. Scattered thunderstorms continue, but they won't be quite as intense. Monday and Tuesday, temps warm back up into the low and mid 80s, and then it's quite a bit drier with some sunshine finally returning by Wednesday and Thursday.